90 seconds. According to Harvard brain scientist Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor, emotions last 90 seconds, or the length of a chemical process in the body. After that, the remaining emotional response is the result of a person choosing to stay in that emotional loop. Anytime you feel triggered, whether it be from an outside source, somebody saying something, you hearing something on the news, you scrolling through Facebook or Instagram and somebody says something that triggers you or you don't agree with their opinion or they just rub you the wrong way, or if there's a thought or a flashback in your own life, just in your own mind, you sitting there sipping a cup of tea and you just are like reminded of a cringy moment, or you're beating yourself up, or you're worrying about something. Anytime you have a trigger, it only lasts for 90 seconds because at that moment in your mind, not your brain, in your mind you have a thought about something outside or inside. Then it hits your brain, it fires and wires, those, axons go down to the cell brain, and then the, axis and the, what do they call it? The synapses fire together and it releases certain hormones in the body. And we feel anger, we feel frustration, we feel fear. 90 seconds, that's a minute and a half. If you can just breathe, tap, anything to regulate. Let that chemical process run through your body. It will pass. That's why when someone, I always used to laugh of like, why when someone gets mad, they say count to 10, breathe and count to 10. Maybe that's where this was from. But if we allow the emotional state to take over and dictate our actions, that's when we get into trouble. We do things we can't take back. We do things that we regret. We start to believe that this emotional state is running our lives and we have no control over it, when we can really just take a moment and breathe through it. It will pass. It doesn't last forever. Think about when you've been the most excited in your life. That doesn't last forever. Think of the most pain, a heartbreak you've been in, or losing like a loved one or a pet. That pain doesn't last forever. However, why we suffer is the emotion hits, the 90 seconds start, and then we just start believing it and getting involved and we just keep hitting it and hitting it and hitting it and sending the waves and waves and waves and waves. That's why, and it can be chronic. It can last for days, weeks, months, years, decades. When really, and this is why people get pissed and I don't blame them, they come to therapy after years and we learn about this and we say, it's as simple as just choosing a different thought. And they're like, oh, hell no, it can't be that simple. Then what's my excuse for the last 20 years of being angry and resentful towards my mother? Are you telling me right now? Because if I just cave now, then that's condoning what she did. I can't forgive her. She's going to, if I get healed, then she's going to think everything she did was okay. It's like, we have to understand that emotions are just a chemical process of the body that come in waves. And it's not bad. We don't judge ourselves. We just do not let it dictate our thoughts or our emotions or our actions. Think of it as, this is a great example, a piano. Your body's a beautiful instrument and you can play all the keys from A to Z on that piano. You got the low keys, boom, and you got the ding, and everything in between. Life is a symphony. Sometimes we're on the low end, sad, bad things happen, dun, dun, dun. Sometimes great things happen and we're elated, it's so high. And mostly we're right in between. But just like a key on a piano, think about when you hit it. You just tap one ivory, ding, and it stops. Ding, and it stops. That's just like an emotion. So when you feel something, it's like tickling the ivories, a piano, right? Even we say it like, oh, that tickled me, right? Tickled me pink. I was just tickled. That was funny. Ding. But do we go up to a piano, hit a key, and it plays for years? No. We have to keep hitting that key. But that's what we do because we don't understand. We hit the key, ding, and we try to fix it by ding, 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 making it stop by just keep hitting it. That's why it's so important. I think the next slide says, do not argue with your emotions. Do not judge yourself. Do not argue with yourself. Do not try to fix an emotion. And that's another hot topic. When we say, what's the polar opposite? When I'm feeling sad, I'm just going to feel happy. I'm going to turn it. That's like what they call bypassing. You can't, pardon my French, but you can't fuck with emotions. They're an effect. It's the receipt. You go to the source. I don't want any more of this emotion. I'm going to go to where it's coming from, my thoughts. Go to the source, the thought. Do not argue with your emotions. They will pass. Go to the source of your thought and see, what did I just think that caused this emotion? And it happens rapidly. I witness this with myself sometimes when I'm on a break and I'm going through like the Instagram stories, and I have a personal account that I don't really use, but there's like people from like high school, a couple people, and I will just start feeling real judgy, and I'm like, girl, what are you thinking? And I start getting like angry or like, oh, why did they post that? And I'm like, oh, I'm judging them. And I go to my thoughts. If I could put a thought to this feeling of irritation or bothersome or, anger, what am I thinking? I'm thinking they're stupid. I'm thinking all sorts of things, but I'm the one suffering. They have no idea. They're going about their day. I'm the one suffering. So when we have emotions, do not try to put lipstick on a pig. Do not try to, fix your emotions. Let it pass. Breathe through it. Tap through it. Go to the thought. Go to a higher thought. I just did this last night. Oh my God. What was I thinking? I had to do something. Oh, I don't know what was up yesterday. I just felt myself in a funky state. And we're human. I don't care if you are the most enlightened Buddhist monk. We're human and we have emotions, unless you take off into the Himalayas and you have nothing to, trigger you. But I'm human and I'm very open and honest. I was just in a funky mood yesterday. I'm like, I'm not on my period, I didn't know. It didn't matter. And I thought, okay, I can't mess with my emotions. I'm not going to get mad that I'm mad. I'm not going to get pissed that I'm pissed, right? Because I'm like, God, I teach this all the time. Why can't I be happier? I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to judge myself. What can I think differently? I'm going to just accept the fact that I am feeling a little cranky. Okay, how can I get into acceptance? Go up higher on that frequency scale. And so I had a higher thought, which made me automatically feel differently, which made me take different action. What did that look like? Me opening up some of my notes that I had to do that I was procrastinating on that was causing me anxiety. And I did a couple of them and it made me feel better immediately. So I'm not going to fuss with my emotions. I'm going to go to the source, which is thought. You are one thought away from a higher vibration. You are one thought away from a higher vibration. You're one thought away from a different emotion, good or bad. One thought away. Think of vibrations as lines, like rainbow lines, where the red flows all the way into the purple, up and down that spectrum of color. You don't really know where red stops and orange starts because it's so nuanced. That's like our emotions. But what is the divide? What dictates what color or frequency we're on? Our thoughts. You are one thought away from a higher vibration or a lower vibration. But for this example, we always want a higher vibration. That's always more preferable. But again, we don't judge if we find ourselves on lower ones. If we are in a state of grief or sadness and we find ourselves in a lower, thicker, denser vibration, we're human. Breathe through it, accept it, understand it, take the necessary actions you need, right? Let's be normal here. But then how can we raise this? I can be in a state of worry, like for example, if I get a flat tire, I can be real pissed and angry for getting that flat while I'm calling AAA and getting my tire changed, or I can be peaceful and accepting about getting my tire changed. That's my choice. I'll be valid for both. People would probably commiserate and join me in feeling pissed because, oh yeah, that sucks. Does it really? Or are we just programmed to think getting a flat tire sucks? If it truly is just a flat tire, it's a flat tire. That's a fact. It's my opinion that it's bad. As Shakespeare said, nothing is good or bad, our thinking makes it so. A flat tire is a fact. The fact that it's, or my opinion that it's crappy is up to me. So you're one thought away from a higher vibration.